Hey everyone, I'm Ronak and today let's learn how to play this 1 to 4 player Indian published game called Panchayat by Kheo Games. Now the publisher Kheo Games are also kind enough to do a small giveaway of this game. So now what you have to do is you have to wait till the end of this video, first learn how to play and then see how you can participate in this giveaway. So let's see how to play the game. In Panchayat, players race to make their village the best by taking these building tiles and placing them and earning victory points. At the end of 8 rounds, the player who has the most points will win the game. Let's see how to play. Give each player a village board of their color and a matching player aid for reference, as well as their player marker, which should be placed here on the 0 spot of the victory point tracking board. Keep in mind that your board has 3 different things on them: the village center, the river on the top, and the farms on the right. Now shuffle all these adjacency bonus tiles as well as these placement bonus tiles and give 1 each to each player at random and keep the remaining back in the box. Players now choose to keep these bonus tiles face up on their player board on spaces of their choice. Now shuffle the end game bonus tiles and choose 4 tiles at random. Place them face up in the middle of the playing area and discard the remaining ones. Now is the time to set up the building tiles. If you are playing with 3 to 4 players, then use all of these building tiles, but if you have only 2 players, then remove the following tiles and keep them back in the box. They will not be used in the game. Now shuffle the remaining building tiles and place them in a face down stack in the center of the table. Remove the top 3 tiles and place them face up next to each other like this. I will refer to this area as the display area and these represent the old buildings. Now make sure to keep some space above and below these tiles. Keep the solo objective, these zamindar discard tiles and any unused components back in the box. We are now ready to play. The player who's last visited a village starts the game and play continues clockwise and players do these 4 following steps in order. Step 1. Open new buildings. In your turn, you open 3 new building tiles above the 3 tiles placed during the setup. These are called as the new buildings. Step 2. Choose tiles. You must now choose any 2 tiles which are open from the new as well as the old building tiles in display. Keep in mind, by open I mean a tile which is not covered by any other tile. For example, here these tiles are open while these are covered. If a player picks this one up as their first pick, then they can pick the second one as it is now open or may choose from any other open ones. Step 3. Place tiles and score. Place the picked up tile on your village board on places which do not have a building tile. Once placed, you immediately score points according to this number mentioned on the tile, as well as considering the conditions of that tile. For example, when I place a flower stall, I immediately score 1 point and plus 2 points for each temple tile adjacent to it. If I place this quarry here, I stand to get 3 points, but 2 of them are deducted as it is placed directly next to the farmlands. Keep in mind that you also get points for your current placement as long as it fulfills any condition on a previously placed tile. Like here, when I place a wood workshop, I score 3 points for the tile and add 1 point since it's next to a farm and deduct 1 point because I placed it next to a temple. Also note that you cannot change the position of a tile once you've placed it unless you use the power of the railway station, which I'll come to in a while. Now let's talk about the placement bonus and the adjacency bonus. This placement bonus tile, which you placed earlier, gives you 2 extra points if you place a building of the matching type on it. Although it is not necessary to match the building type, in which case you will not score the extra points. Adjacency bonus. Placing a building on top of your adjacency bonus will activate that tile and will give you 1 point for every other tile that meets its condition. For example, this scoring tile gives me 1 point for each building I have placed next to the farm when I build on top of it. So, when I build here, I stand to get 1 point for the well as 1 point for each building here. Let me tell you about the building types. Buildings have different types like general, commercial, residential, industrial and utility buildings. The utility buildings give you special powers. Let's talk about them. After it is built, having the post office allows you to also choose the top tile of the discard pile while choosing buildings from the display area in your turn. In your turn, each railway station in your village enables you to move one building from its place to an empty space once per game. A tile moved this way does not score or lose any additional points when it is placed in a new spot, and any points earned by this building tile in previous rounds are not lost either. Step 4. After placing building tiles and scoring for points, now the player places any remaining new buildings in any columns in the old building space, in a way that there are always 3 columns in the old building space. If you wish to place a building tile in a column that already has 3 old buildings, then move all those 3 buildings in the discard pile face up and then place the building tile in that column. The game ends when 8 rounds are over, and then we move on to the final scoring. There are 3 endgame scoring conditions, and let's look at what they are. The most cowsheds. The player who has the most cowsheds in their village board earns 10 victory points. In case of a tie for this, all the tied players get the 10 points each. Endgame scoring tiles. Players now see these endgame scoring tiles and individually score for them. Each of these tiles give 5 victory points to the player who has the largest number of building tiles mentioned on them. For example, while scoring this tile, if player A has 1 well and 2 Pandit houses, while player B has 1 well and 1 Pandit house, player A wins the condition and gets 5 victory points. Keep in mind that in order to qualify for scoring that tile, a player should have at least 1 of each building in order to score that tile. Groups of the same type. Finally, all players now check which is their largest group of each type of building in their board and score 2 points for each tile in that group. Like here, this village has 3 residential, 5 commercial, 1 utility and 2 industrial buildings in groups. So, I will score 6 points for these, 10 for these, 2 points for these and 4 for these for a total of 22 points. This pottery tile is not considered while scoring as it is not part of the largest group. Do note that the general buildings are not considered for scoring. The player with the most victory point now is the winner. In case of a tie, the player who has the largest group of buildings of any type is the winner, and if still tied, then the players share the victory. And that is how you play Panchayat. You can also play Panchayat as a solo game as well as using these rules mentioned in the rulebook. Feel free to check them out as they are simple yet interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, the publisher of this game, Kheo Games, is also doing a small giveaway. In order to win the giveaway, you need to follow the instructions which are flashing on your screen right now. I hope you really like this video. If you want to check out where you can buy Panchayat or want to know more about what Kheo Games do, I'll leave a link in the description down below and you can check them out. We at Giant Games are also producing more content related to board games. If you want to know and if you want to get more updates about us and the board games which are released in India, do give us a subscribe. Till then, keep playing and I'll see you in the next one.